Hey, and welcome back to the channel, everybody. How are you all doing? Well, in an effort for the doctor to keep his brain malleable, pliable, to keep those neural pathways firing and create new little roads and back roads and tracks, etc., I've decided to give SimTools version 3 a crack. The good thing about SimTools version 3 is it's a standalone install, so it doesn't mess with your other SimTools installs. So if you're not liking it, it's no big deal. You can just use what you're already using. In my case, I've been using 2.6. So I did download this a week or so ago. I didn't like its interface. I didn't like how unintuitive it was, but I've now bumbled my way through it and I've worked out how to use it, and I've worked out how to get a profile set up to work with the motion sim. So I'm going to take you through how to do that today for new users of SimTools 3. The first thing you will need to do is go to the SimTools website. You'll need to download the SimTools 3 automatic installer. You'll download that as a zip file, open it, you'll double click on it, it will extract SimTools 3 onto your computer. It will install this gorgeous looking cog shortcut here. Some may call it gorgeous, others may call it whatever they want to call it. What you'll do is you will click on the shortcut, SimTools 3 shortcut. It will open SimTools 3 down in your taskbar down the bottom here in the system tray. Okay, so there it is. What we'll now need to do is we'll need to set up our interface to work with the motion sim, and we'll need to install game plugins. The difference with SimTools 3, it is automatic. You don't need to have a plugin updater. It sort of does it on the fly. You do need to be connected to the internet. And the other thing I need to talk about too, guys, is you will need to get a license to use SimTools 3. You'll have to activate that license as well. We may need to do that now anyway as I begin the tutorial. So if you already have an older version of SimTools fully licensed, you can use SimTools 3 under that license. So I will do that now as well, because I need to do that to register this so then I can actually get this all working. I'll click on registration. I will activate my license. It's been activated, so now I can run this at full noise. So that's what you'll need to do, guys. You'll need to activate your license. If you don't have one, you have to pay for one. First thing to do, guys, is down here on the right-hand side here, you'll see Plugin Manager. We'll need to click on that. And we need to go to Interface Plugins here, okay, along here. Forget about the games for now. First, we need to set up our interface. So click on this. You're going to be presented with a bunch of options here that are presets for different motion simulators or motor controllers. Because we're using Arduino Uno R3s that run from serial, we connect them via serial. We're going to click on Install the serial here. Install plugin, yes. So it's downloading the file. This is why you need to make sure that you are connected to the internet. So that will have downloaded that. I can come here now and I can click on this one up here with the lines, and now I can navigate over interface setup. I can bring this up. I can now click on selected plugin, and we're going to select serial, and it's going to bring up our box here that is brought up the same as 2.6. So what we need to do is configure our COM ports. Now, I know what mine are off by heart. COM port 4 is my first Arduino Uno R3 that controls my Sabertooth 2x32 that controls my front two motors. You'll need to work out which COM port your Arduino is plugged into. The way you do that, guys, is to click on Device Manager in Windows. We'll go through it here as well for fresh users that might find this video. In Device Manager, under Ports, COM and LPT, you can expand this and you'll see here whatever you've got plugged in to your USB ports that are registering as Arduinos, for example. Okay, now I've got two registering here because I'm running two Arduinos, one for my Sabertooth 2x32 that controls my two front motors, as I've just mentioned. The other Arduino Uno is plugged into my IBT2 H-bridge controllers that control my rear two motors on my 4-degree of freedom motion sim for my traction loss and my surge. Now, I happen to know that COM port 4 is the Arduino that's plugged into the front two motors, and that's what I'm going to set up now. So I need to know that so then I can put that in here, okay, under COM port. So you just need to know which Arduino is which as far as what's plugged into your computer. So when you open interface 2 to set up your rear traction loss motors on your second saber-tooth, or if you're using IBT2s on those IBT2s, you need to know what that Arduino's COM port location is. So for me, for this interface 1, I'll need to set up COM port 4, which is what I'm going to do. Bits per second, guys, are 500,000. Data bits, you'll select 8. Parity is none. Stop bits is 1. Output bit range here, you will select 10. The output type, make sure binary is ticked. Here at output rate, you're going to select 10. And this is the important part here for the way ours works. Okay, with 2 Arduino Unos, we need to have the correct interface output for interface 1. Now, I'm going to cheat here, and I'm going to bring up my 2.6 SimTools. I'll open Game Engine. Like I said, because these are standalone, I can have them both running at the same time. It's handy for this because I can just copy and paste my interface settings, interface output code here, all right? So this is the code that is going to be required to run the first saber-tooth on the front 2 motors. So I'm going to copy that, and then here in the SimTools 3, I'm just going to paste that straight in. So that is now all of interface 1 that's going to control my first Arduino Uno R3 with my front 2 motors with my saber-tooth. That's located in COM port 4. I will save that now. So now I need to move to interface 2. Guess what? It is going to be the same as the first one. In selected plugin, select serial. This time, however, this is COM port 3. My second Arduino is in COM port 3, as you saw in Device Manager in Windows. Bits per second are the same, 500,000. Data bits are 8. Parity is none. Stop bits is 1. Output bit range will be 10. I'll make sure binary is ticked. Output rate here, again, it's going to be 10. The big difference here now, guys, is in interface 2, the code is different. It is 1B and 2B in interface 2, whereas interface 1 is 1A and 2A. So it's 1A, 2A for interface 1, and it's 1B, 2B for interface 2. Again, I'm just going to copy the interface 2 code here and plonk it straight in SimTools 3. Save. Okay, so my interface and the way that SimTools 3 is going to communicate with my Arduinos to control my motion sim is now set up. So now we've done that, guys, we can click on the home icon here, okay? Click on home. We'll go back to Plugin Manager because now we've got to get some games installed here to set up degrees of force, axes, etc. So what I'll do now is now I will go to Game Plugins, and I'm just going to choose Assetto Corsa. So now I've got Assetto Corsa downloaded as a plugin, so it's automatically installed the plugin. Don't need to use a plugin updater like the earlier versions of SimTools. It does it now automatically. We'll go back to Plugin Manager. We now need to work out what axis plugins we want. So this is where it differs quite a lot from 2.6. 2.6, this stuff is all automatically set up. In here, you've got to set everything up manually. So to get my degrees of force and to be able to put in my axis assignments for my motors, I need to click on Axis Plugins here. Now I've got to choose what axis assignment plugin I want to use. 3D rotating, guys, is generally for 6-degree of freedom motion sims, like a rotating stewards platform, that sort of thing. So that's not going to be applicable for what we're using. I'm going to go for the 2D advanced. It's going to give me, in the long run, more options. So I'm going to click on that one. And I'm going to say, yes, install that bad boy. That will now be installed. Now that that's installed, now I can hover over the Assetto Corsa game plugin that I have downloaded here, and I can click on this waveform here. Now, if I go over to selected plugins, and I can click on my generic 2D advanced, now it's going to load up the degrees of force that I need now for my motors to set these up. So similar to what I've shown you in 2.6, what we'll go through now, so axis 1A, that now represents my left-hand front motor. Axis 2A represents my right-hand front motor. So these are all the axes that are going to control pitch, roll, surge, and heave that I use. So I now need to set those up. So I'm going to select on the first axis A motor here, pitch. I have to set up roll for this motor as well. I have to set up heave for this motor. Roll, we'll go heave there, and then we'll go surge. So on the front two motors, they'll both handle pitch, roll, heave, and surge. So on the second motor, we need to do that as well. Pitch, roll, heave, and surge. And on our degrees of force, I'm going to set everything up to be very conservative at 10. This is just going to be the initial walkthrough on this video, guys. We'll go into Tuning Center and how that works with SimTools 3 in another video. So conservative setup there. That is my front two motors on interface 1, which we could say is axis assignments A. We are going to have to do some inverting here. We're going to have to invert our axes to work out what we need to invert in this one, whether it's this motor that we need to invert, our left motor or our right motor. We can test to see what these degrees of force are doing in real time. As long as we've got power to our motion sim, as long as we've got our SMC3 utility stuff sorted out, we can do that. But before we click on test settings, this is the trick, guys. You've got to save. If you don't save what the changes you've made here, it's not going to work in the test program. You do not have a global LAN profile yet. Would you like a profile setup? Basically what this will do is it'll set up a global save for this to use with multiple different cars, for example, okay? That's fine, set that up. We can change those and specify those later. So now if I go into test settings and I test my roll, you can't see this because I don't have a camera on the sim, but my sim is now pitching. At the moment, its pitch is working exactly the same as roll. Everything like surge here, all of my degrees of force I've got set up because they don't have anything ticked. They're all just acting as roll. So let's get that sorted out now. We'll stop testing by clicking on stop testing here. So we need to work out which way we have to invert these to work correctly. So then pitch works as it should, heave works as it should, and surge works as it should, separate from roll. So in my case, if I click on the axis to be reversed here under direction, for pitch here, for heave here, and for surge all on my second motor, axis 2A, I make sure I save that. Test settings, I'll go straight to pitch, and it's working as it should. So both of my motors are dropping now when I go into the minus, and both of the motors are raising when I go into the positive. Surge, both of them are lowering at the same time in the negative. Both of them are raising. Heave, both of them are lowering. Both of them are raising in the positive. So they're all working. We haven't checked anything for roll. It should act individually, each motor. One should go down, one should go up. That's what they're doing in both directions for the roll. Stop testing. So just make note of that, guys. If you're using the Dr. ADHD 4DOF, this side here, these are what you're going to have to invert as far as your directions go for those motors to move in the right directions, to act as pitch, heave and surge. Roll you leave unticked so both motors work independent of each other. So that's axis assignments A, or if you like, interface 1. So now we need to set up axis assignments B, which is our second Arduino. Now I'm going to select surge. I'm going to invert surge because I know that's what needs to happen, so then my surge rail acts directionally the way I want it. And the difference we've got here is we used to use extra 1 in 2.6 for our traction loss. Now it's actually called traction loss. It does not get inverted. Let's put 20 degrees of force on both of these. These require more degrees of force than the front motors in conservative setups. Notice, guys, I've used no filters yet. This is just basic setup for getting it all working in SimTools 3. Again, now, because I have set this up, I need to save this before I can do any testing. Again, it's going to ask me, do I want a global file? And yes, I do. So now that's saved, I can go into test settings. I'll find my traction loss. And actually, for some reason, my traction loss is working as my surge. I know what I've done wrong. So this is where the difference is here between 2.6 and 3. In 2.6, axis 1B and axis 2B live here. They're on the top here, 1B and 2B. So I've actually got to move that over to here that's what my problem is. I've got surge and traction loss. I had them set up on the same motor by doing it that way. So look, it's not a bad thing that that's happened, because that gives you guys a heads up as well. That's where we differ. In 2.6, these axis assignments, or your motors, they were listed down the bottom here. Now they're across, all right? So now that I've got that sorted, I'll save that again. Now when I go into testing, let's test the surge. I should have surge by itself. I do, traction loss, and I've got my arc and my swing happening here in my traction loss. So in a nutshell, peeps, that is how that is set up. You have to go through those steps to set up your SimTools 3. What I'm looking forward to in SimTools is being able to have these additional filters for the surge rail. It's gonna, I think, get the surge rail more refined, working in more of a progressive linear way than what 2.6 does. We'll see when I start fiddling around with these filters. That's for another video, guys. There's a video coming out soon that I've already done on using filters for the surge in 2.6. I'll let that video be released when it gets released, and then I'll do one, and we'll see what the difference is between the two versions of SimTools, and we'll make that clear in the next video I do on the surge rail axis using SimTools version 3. Thanks for tuning in. If this has been helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until I see you in the next video, you guys stay safe, stay healthy, and take it easy out there.